We got another interesting story. So, if you guys remember, the Myst developers, Cyan Worlds, this particular developer experienced layoffs about like a month back or so. I think it was about a month back, right? We talked about this about a month ago, and we took a look at their games, and we kind of like put it all together. And I was like, what's going on here? Because it's so interesting to me that Cyan Worlds, a developer that sells barely any video games throughout the year, was somehow able to survive for about 6 years from their last game. They were able to pay salaries for developers. They were able to pay salaries for their workers in general, somehow, while selling damn near nothing for 6 years, right? And so they started laying people off about a month ago. And you guys remember when I said that that's not going to be the end of it, that there's just no way, that usually what happens when studios like this, that just aren't putting out any sort of numbers, they start doing layoffs to try to save the company. But what ends up happening is it doesn't really save the company. Well, that's exactly what's going on here now with this particular developer, because now apparently they're holding even more layoffs. So instead of getting rid of the studio, they're firing even more people. Didn't Myst come out in the 80s? They have some newer games that came out, I think, about 6 years ago or so. So let's check this out. Just 3 months after its first round of layoffs, Cyan Worlds, the developer behind Myst, have announced more employees were being let go. In a post on social media over the weekend, the studio said it was sorry to say that it had another round of redundancies. We've updated our previously shared sheet to reflect folks still or newly looking for opportunities, they said while sharing a spreadsheet with employee information. The last round of job cuts in March say 12 people let go. This round appears to be shorter, with 14 people on the list, including many still remaining from the first announcement. As far as the reason for the latest layoffs go, nothing was said. The studio previously said that it had to do with the state of the industry and company finances. At the time, Cyan World said the current plan was to secure financing for the next project and to restabilize the studio. I got to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to survive. I just don't. I'm sticking to with what I said back a couple of months ago when I first talked about this. I don't think they're going to survive. I just don't. I think they're cooked. I think they're absolutely cooked, unfortunately. It's sure they're firing people, but they're only firing people so they don't have to pay anybody while they're looking for investors. That's really what they're doing. And then if they can't find investors, guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? The studio is going to close down. It's only a matter of time, right? So at this point, I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know how they were surviving. And by me saying I don't know, I'm obviously being a little bit of I'm not being completely honest. We do know how they were surviving, right? They were getting subsidized some way, somehow. It could be by government money. It could be by a private investor that was getting government money themselves. Who really knows? But they were being subsidized somehow, some way. And that subsidization is no longer there because it's not their sales, right? It's not like they were selling amazing over the last 5 years. And suddenly in 2025, they're just not selling anymore. That's not the case. That's not the case because they weren't selling for years. Their games were dead, right? So that's not what that was. What this was is subsidization that is no longer there. So we'll continue to follow this up, like I said last time. But I expect that next time we hear about this, it will most likely be studio closure. I just don't see how they're going to get funding for their next game. But that's me personally.